it doesn't matter whether it's competitive or not. If it's all about how you are going to improve yourself. And then I just fell in love with cycling all over again. So Ironman is a triathlon. For those who don't know, it's a 1.9 kilometer swim followed by a 90 kilometer bike ride, and then you top it up with a 21 kilometer run. When we are trying to push ourselves to another limit, you are bound to hit a wall, and you are bound to be like, this is it. But you have to have the mental capacity to be like, I can do it. I want to do it. This is my goal. By this day, this time, I need to have that medal around my neck. It doesn't matter whether you finish first or fifth or 10th or whatever. If you can cross the finish line and be happy about the journey that you went through to get there, that means you have won. So you have won when you got to the start line. Crossing the line is a bonus.
With integrity in his heart, he rode his way through challenges and he said, I can, towards success. Welcome, Mithun Liyanake.
Thank you for having me.
So, in your own words, how would you define an athlete? And also, what is the discipline does it take? What is the discipline it takes to become one?
So, how you look at it, it kind of varies from person to person. To me, if I say that I am an athlete, or if I can call somebody else an athlete, what I would look into is if this person is training for a particular sport, or is training for a particular event, like maybe a 100 meter run or 200 meter run or high rocks or CrossFit games or whatever. If that person is training to improve on his skill set, I would call that person an athlete. So when you ask me what it takes to be an athlete has to be ready to sacrifice a lot of things that they love to do in order to achieve that goal that they have in mind. Doesn't matter what goal it is, like they have to make sure that they prioritize it, and while they prioritize, they make sure that other things are also not let's say if that person is a family person or has studies or whatever, like how would they manage everything by making sure that the sport or the game that this person is training for is not neglected. So that is what it takes to become a good athlete. You can have all the talent in the world,
Okay.
but if that person is not willing to go that extra mile to work on that person's skill
So
set,
that does only applies to competitive sports, or like you can.
any sport. I mean, any sport that involves, it doesn't matter whether it's competitive or not. If it's all about how you are going to improve yourself, competition is once you get there.
So, in your definition, you would call an athlete is a guy who.
Who trains for that particular sport, and to take part in a particular event. I would consider that person an athlete.
Okay. Mithun, so can you tell a little bit about yourself and how you began your journey?
So I'm Mithun. I went to
Hi, Mithun.
Hi. I went to couple of schools when as a kid. I went to Royal. I started my early schooling career in Royal. Then I was in Norelia for 2 years, and then I came back to Gateway, and I finished school in Gateway. And
Okay.
by the time I went to Norelia, I was into sports, but facilities were not that great.
What sort of sports?
I was into a lot of cycling there because that was one of the only things that I could have done
In
because
Norelia?
in Norelia. So because my father was a planter, I was cycling a lot as a kid, and although I cycled a lot as a sport, I was not that serious about it. But once I came to Colombo, I got myself into a lot of track events. I was running a lot, so that kind of was my early whatever my journey, how it began, right? But once I left school, till I was about 28, I would have not been working out that much. I spent a lot of nights coming home on all fours, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I partied so much. I went through a crazy time where exercising was not the most important thing,
Okay.
right? So, and when I started working, see, like once when I got a full-time job, I found it easier for me to cycle to work
Okay.
than to take a bus or go by car
Was
because
that
it was
because of
faster.
COVID?
No. This was way before COVID.
Okay.
So this is I'm disclosing my age, but this is when I was about 25. This is long time ago.
Okay.
Okay, let me just put it there.
Okay.
And so I used to cycle to work, and that I got myself into a cycling group. We used to do cycling trips around the country, just for fun, right? These are not competitive. And then I just fell in love with cycling all over again. And then I just started doing a little bit more serious cycling, but again, not in a competitive way. I would have never called myself an athlete in my 20s, right? So it was just for fun, hanging out with my friends on bicycles and just exploring Sri Lanka. And then when I hit 30, I had a bad breakup. I wanted something to distract myself. And after a couple of months of heavy partying, I thought to myself, you know what? Why am I just ruining my life? I should just do something that will benefit me, and also I can get a little fitter and to be a better person. So what I did was I continued cycling with my cycling group, and one of my good friends, Tisara, I still remember, after he cycled with us, he would just pack the bike onto his car and he'll start running. And I was like, why are you being an idiot? We just finished the bike ride. Let's go home. Let's just have a good time. And he's like, no, bro, I'm training for an Ironman. So Ironman is a triathlon. For those who don't know, it's a 1.9 kilometer swim followed by a 90 kilometer bike ride, and then you top it up with a 21 kilometer run.
Yeah.
So this is back to back. So he was training for one of those, and then he said,
This was in?
So this was when I was 30. It's about 9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So see, he told me that he's training for this, and I was like, okay, you know what? Next year when you're doing this, I'm going to take part with you, but I'll train with you up until next year, because he was taking part for it in about, he had about 3 or 4 months to go, and I was like, I didn't have enough time. At that time, I was not a swimmer. I didn't swim that much. So what I told him was, okay, I'll keep you company, and when you're ready for your next event, I will train for it and do it with you.
Okay.
That was my start of my whole athletics journey, right? So I started getting into serious cycling, serious running, and then I started swimming, and that's when it took off. And ever since that, my partying life had it's next to nothing. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that. This is because
Very focused.
because I was putting my time in. I told myself I can do it. I want to do it. I don't. So if I'm going to be putting my 100% in training, whatever other things that's happening around me is just going to hold me back, right?
Yeah.
So alcohol kind of dehydrates you, and that's the last thing you want.
Exactly.
And let's say you have a heavy night, you are hungover, you can't perform for the next week or so because you are still recovering from that weekend.
You're drained.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I told myself was, you know what? I didn't give myself, okay, I'm going to give myself 2 more weeks to
Excuses.
No
excuses.
Yeah, no excuses. I told myself, I'm going to stop today.
Yeah.
Right? I just went into that mentality, and also this other day, his name is Lilanta, one of my very very senior cyclists who I used to cycle with.
Okay.
And he was telling me, I still remember, while I was cycling, I took my leg off the pedal and just shook my leg off.
Yeah.
And that day I have had a late night, and I just, without going home or like without washing up or whatever, I just changed into my cycling clothes, and I got onto the bike and I came.
Yeah.
And then he asked me, Mali, what kada? Like when I was shaking my leg off
Yeah.
because I was cramping
Achha,
because
that
I
is
have
why.
had a
Okay.
late night, and he's like, what kada? Like, and then that registered in my head. I was like, you know what? Enough is enough. Let's just get focused.
No excuses.
No excuses. Just tell yourself that this is your goal, this is your purpose, and then just
say you can.
and yeah, exactly. I just said I can do it, and then and here I am. I have never looked back. I have no regrets. I'm very happy for how this turned out to be, and I was lucky enough to find my passion.
Awesome. So we all heard the story about Mithun, bad boy gone good.
All my friends know. Like if you went back couple of years, you'll know how things change. They would have not thought that I would turn out to be a cyclist or a triathlete or a swimmer or whatever.
Exactly. So Mithun, let's talk about the triathlon a little bit more. So I mean, it looks fun and exciting, right? But what sort of mental endurance does it take for one to partake in the triathlon?
So, like I said, the distances are long, right? So uh, you need to focus on all three. All three, that means swimming, cycling, and running. So that means you have to allocate time for all three disciplines. And on top of that, you have to also think about your strength and conditioning. That means you have to go to gym. It's not only just running, cycling, and swimming. You have to go and pump in some iron and make sure that your muscles are strong enough to absorb the shock that you're giving into the body, right?
yeah.
And on top of that, you have to think about recovery. That means you have to get a massage on and off, go for ice baths, do all that. Okay, so it takes a lot of time.
Doesn't sound fun, right?
It is fun when you know that you have achieved something.
Yeah.
When you have proved people wrong. When you feel like, I have a story to tell.
Gone beyond your limitations.
Yeah,
as well.
that you have been able to push yourself to a limit where people can't understand, right? When that hits you, it's a different feeling, right? It's a feeling of self, what do you say, achieved, that you have achieved something that other people can't understand,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Then it's fun, right? When the pictures come out, it's fun. But the journey, it's always up and down. You have to have that mental capacity to be like, you know what, I had a bad day today, but I'm going to do it tomorrow somehow.
Exactly. Not giving up.
Not giving up.
Yeah.
So you have to be kind to yourself as well, right? Because your body is naturally built in a way where you are going to get injured if you don't look after yourself well. And these things that we do when we are trying to push ourselves to another limit, you are bound to hit a wall, and you are bound to be like, this is it. But you have to have the mental capacity to be like, I can do it. I want to do it. This is my goal. And by this day, this time, I need to have that medal around my neck.
Yeah, pushing yourself internally
Exactly.
in your head.
Exactly. So you have to wake up every morning. Okay. So when I told you you're a swim, you're a cycle, you're a run. So I'm talking about not just one session a day. Sometimes you have double sessions a day. That means you work out in the morning, you work out in the evening, you go home, you attend to work or emails or whatever. You go to sleep, and you wake up the next day morning feeling like you have been hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Right? But you get up, you get out of bed, tell yourself, I have these things, coach is watching me, this is the distance that I have run today, or cycle, or whatever.
I'm going to prove myself.
Exactly. You have to that mental capacity to get over the fact that the bed is calling for you. Bed is the most comfiest place on earth.
Yeah.
Getting out of bed, that's the hardest part,
Yeah.
right? But you have to make sure that you are like wired in a different way, that you want to prove that you can do it.
That makes sense. So Mithun, as is anything good in life, challenges are part of it. So what kind of troubles and turmoils that you had to go through as you discover yourself as a sportsman?
Um, at that time, when I was just getting into the sport, the biggest problem was how am I going to find the time to, because at that point
You were working?
I was working. I had a full time job. I was doing my masters, and then I was training for this event as well.
Masters,
Yeah.
working and training.
All three. And I had just one shot to make sure that the masters worked, because I spent a lot of money there.
Yeah.
And I was in no mood to waste it. And I had to make sure that my training was on point, because I had already registered for this race. And registering for a race means you have to pay for, you have to find the funds for the race registration, airfare, your lodging, all that.
Not in SL.
Yeah.
It was not in SL?
No, it was in Vietnam.
Okay.
And so all that meant I can't drop the ball on anything, right? So finding the time to manage everything was one of the biggest challenges that I had.
Yeah.
And on top of that, so if that is the financial aspect of it. Let's say if I'm from a training aspect of it, Sri Lanka is not the most training friendly, and it doesn't have the most training friendly ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Especially because let's say if you're training on the bike in the morning, you have to be done with your run by at least 6:30. Because once the traffic kicks in,
Yeah, it's
there is
messed up.
no way you
Yeah.
are going to be able to get any workout done.
I'm sure everyone knows that.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. When it comes to running, when the sun comes out,
Yeah.
you are cooked. Okay, you have to hydrate yourself. You have to drink so much water, your electrolytes, all that. Right? Swimming is somewhat of an easier discipline to. It's one of the easiest out of the three in terms of training, going for training, because the pool is not going to go anywhere. You can find a play. You can always find a pool to go and swim in, right? But cycling and running, you have to time it so well, right? And if you wake up 10 to 15 minutes late, right, that means you are kicking into traffic towards the latter part. So that was one of the hardest things that I had to battle. Even now,
The time management.
time management. So because let's say I'm staying up late to finish my assignments, okay, and then next morning I have a bike ride with my training buddies, and they are meeting up at about 5 o'clock, right? That means I had to wake up at least 4:30.
Definitely.
That means before I go to sleep, I had to make sure that my bike is in good condition, make sure that my water is filled up, my electrolytes, my whatever I'm going to eat in the morning or during the ride, whatever. All that you need to pack it up and go.
Do you eat during the ride? That
Yeah,
happens?
you have to. You have to eat. You have to drink. It's very important, right? So you have to make sure that you eat and drink enough to fuel your next next discipline also. That means, let's say some days I have to keep the bike and then start running right after the bike ride. So you need to fuel enough for the next discipline that's coming up. So you have to plan all that. And I was new, right? And triathlon was new to Sri Lanka. Like, people who were there to help you out, that number was non-existent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? There is no training facility to go and train in. And our roads are not the best, right? There are dogs all over the place, buses driving like crazy,
Yeah.
three-wheelers cutting into you. You have to be always careful, right? So all that kind of, those were the things that actually was causing a bit of a challenge, right? So you have to really it all boils down to time management, making sure that you wake up on time to get your this training done, and then not be dog tired once you get to work. You
So how
know,
did that change happen? Like, you being very clumsy and, all that, and then you becoming extremely disciplined and,
so because I was cycling a little bit back in the day, that discipline kind of gradually trickled down into this what
branched itself into
yeah,
others. Yeah.
it kind of helped me out a little bit. But in terms of waking up in the morning, it's still a challenge, man. It's still a challenge. It's because once you have a long training session in the evening, waking up in the morning and being able to give your 100% all over again while you have a full-time job, it's tough.
But you still managed to do it.
Yeah, I have to. That's what's like, because I have a goal, and that's what drives me.
So Mithun, how was your support system like? Was there friends that were supporting you, family, or was it like a solo journey that you kind of went alone?
uh, when you are going to, like, when you set your eyes on a triathlon, it's very difficult to go solo. It's so difficult that there are things that you'll need like assistance from for, and it'll be really tough if you're doing it solo. I mean, you keep the coaches aside, you keep your training buddies aside. If your family is not supportive in your journey, it's going to be really tough, right? So my my backbone has been my parents. They have always believed in my dream. They have always supported me, and even at this age, my dad and my mom are the biggest cheerleaders, right? They will support me to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
And my friends have always been there, right? Whenever, I mean, although my goals don't align with any of theirs,
Yeah.
but they will find a way to, come and help me out. So
However they can.
exactly, like, there are days that you have four hour runs. Okay, so these runs go on forever. It's in the middle of the day, and I have had friends coming on their bicycles just to give me water, right? They stick with me for 4 hours handing me water, right? So and I've been blessed to have an amazing set of training buddies who have always been there. Like, they have, it's just a matter of asking them, right? And then sometimes you don't even ask them and they show up. Like, last week, it was actually on Saturday, we had a race that where we had to go from Colombo to, the race is from Colombo to Arugambe, bicycle race.
Okay.
Okay, it's a 2-day race. First day is Colombo to Alla, and that is through Ratnapura, Haputale. You climb, and then the first stage is up to Haputale, Alla, and from that you go down to Arugambe. That's the second day.
Okay. That's a slope.
That's, although it's downhill, the first 40 kilometers is downhill, and after that the next 90 kilometers is flat.
Flat.
That it's a challenge. Like, my friends actually showed up at the start line, me without even knowing, right? It's amazing to, like, the fact that the support system that we have created around us to help each other out for these events. We actually, Sri Lanka is, like, because of how we are,
The connection.
the connection that we have with each other, it's amazing. I would give them full credit for what I have achieved and what I have been able to achieve. If not for them, I would have not been anywhere, because I know for a fact that how much these guys actually sacrificed. So the race started at 5 something, and these guys actually woke up early in the morning at about 4 o'clock just to come and cheer me on, right? Fully appreciated.
That
lots
feeling
of
is
love.
also like, yeah,
It's
so
nuts.
warm.
Like it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
So some of them are like the wishes that they send, and all that means a lot, right? So I'm actually, I would be lying through my nose if I said it's a solo effort. It's so much more than that, and I'm so happy that I have that support system. And yeah,
Do you think a lot of players or sportsmen, they do have this kind of supporting structure, support system, or is it like,
no, I don't think so. I don't think so. You need to be extremely lucky, extremely blessed to have this kind of system. Like, even it's sad to say that if you are an athlete in Sri Lanka, and you have, not that I'm saying that I'm talented. There are uh, talented athletes, like so talented that
hidden
they
gems?
can be
Yeah.
in some kind of a ranking system, like high up there, at least in the Asian region, but they don't have a platform to perform, right? That's what's sad. Like, there is so much of talent, hidden raw talent in Sri Lanka, that we have not been able to make use of and show the world, right? um, so if the support system that is they are coming down from the government bodies or whatever, like, if they were able to um,
What
get
was that you
these
said?
government bodies,
Okay.
if they are, if they have a system to be able
Support
to support them, and find them and grow this sport, we have so much potential,
in Sri
right,
Lanka.
in Sri Lanka. So I only wish that the coming, I mean, I used to have so much trouble getting myself into uh, to represent Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And which have not been fruitful for the most part.
Okay.
I only hope that these systems are put in place and make sure that Sri Lankan athletes
Have a chance.
have a chance, and someone gives them a platform to perform, and which would take our Sri Lankan flag to higher places.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's what it's supposed to, like, at the end of the day, that's what your biggest goal is, right? To represent your country.
Yeah.
And I hope these systems will be put in place in the future, so that it's easier for an athlete to come out. And I mean, it's, forget about the funding, and forget about creating, giving them food or whatever. Like, it's just that,
At least to check.
at least to come, have a ranking system to understand who the best triathlete is in Sri Lanka, so that they get selected for bigger things. Uh, I wish those things will be put in soon, so that these kids who are not as blessed as I am have a place to shine.
Finally, what advice would you give to budding sportsmen and sportswomen?
Um, that'll be a long list, but to
Long
some,
list of advices.
but in summary, like that, the what a athlete needs to understand is, it's never going to be a consistent
Climb.
climb. You're going to have your ups and downs, and you have to be able to withstand that and be like, you know what, I had a bad day, I should be able to push myself tomorrow, right? This is an off day, or uh, that's I'm not good enough. To not have that mentality, right? Just because you fail, you have to go back, try to figure out why I failed. Was it my nutrition? Did I drink enough water? Did I drink had did I eat well? Did I sleep well during my training? Did I recover enough? Or okay, then maybe if I didn't, if my strongest discipline is cycling, and then my weakest is swimming. Should I have spent a little bit more time in swimming? Like, try to analyze why you messed up rather than being so quick to give up. I've seen so many athletes who are so quick to give up because their mentality is not strong enough to be, that they don't have that
Commitment.
I can attitude. You need to be able to tell yourself, I have a goal. I'm not going to stop until I'm done with that goal, right? That is very, very, very difficult to find these days. So if you're a budding athlete, if you're just getting yourself into a sport like this, it's a long journey, right? You can't just wake up one fine morning and be like, you know what, I want to do an Ironman. You can't. It's very difficult because one thing is the basics of you mastering swimming is paramount. You have to be able to swim. So if you are just waking up, if you have been only running and cycling, and you're like, I want to be a swimmer, Ironman,
You want to win Ironman.
or whatever, like even to take part, you need to be able to put your time in for the swimming and all that. So you have to be able to be kind to yourself and be like, this is going to be a long journey. I'm in for the long run. I want to be in that particular place. I want to cross that line. Doesn't matter whether you finish first or fifth or 10th or whatever. If you can cross the finish line and be happy about the journey that you went through to get there, that means you have won. Okay? Because for you to get to the start line, I don't think 99% of the rest of the population in the world can even understand that. For you to get to the start line. So you have won when you got to the start line.
Yeah.
Crossing the line is a bonus, right? So how you are going to tell yourself, how you are going to enjoy that whole journey of training and getting to the start line to be able to take part in one of these events, that is the most important part, right? So
So your advice is to never give up?
Never give up. Have that I can attitude and be able to push yourself. Like, every day is not going to be a perfect day. You need to understand, you can have family issues, you can have training issues, bike breakdowns, everything. You have to move on. Find a solution, and you have to find your way forward. And that's the main thing that I could, main advice that I could give someone.
And finish what you started.
Yep.
That was an awe-inspiring conversation with a man who cycled his way through to becoming the best version of himself. Thank you, Mithun, for joining the iCan podcast series and for inspiring us all.